Hey guys, welcome back to another decorating video. I'm really happy that you're here today because we're working in the kitchen. Last week we tackled the front entry and the hutch, and I am really excited for decorating this year for fall. I feel like over the years I've really kind of pared down on a lot of the items that I didn't love, and I've collected over the last few years especially pieces that really make me smile. And I have everything kind of gathered over here on the island. A lot of you guys know I like to do that and sort of gather it all together and see how it works. And there is just something about this year and the items that I have on the island that just make me so happy. So I'll be sharing that with you in just a moment. The kitchen is clean. I've already done all of that. I really just wanted to focus on decorating with you guys today. And I'm gonna turn the camera around in just a moment and share with you the items that we'll be using. But before we do, I just wanna say thank you guys for all of your support and encouragement. It means the world to me when you like the video or leave a comment or share the video. That is so helpful to me. And there's also another way that you can support me if you feel so inclined, and that is by leaving me a super thanks. I love chatting with you in the comments, so I hope you will leave me a comment below today and let me know how you think the kitchen turned out. But let's not wait another minute. There's a lot to do, so we'll turn the camera around and check out what's on the island. So we'll begin by taking a look at all of the items that I've gathered together. You're gonna see a common theme here: a lot of wood, a lot of copper, and a lot of items that bring in the softness of fall. These stems from Amazon are one of my favorites, and take a look at that cutting board in the back there. I grabbed that at Hobby Lobby this year. Absolutely love it. These are from the Hearth and Hand line in the fall last year, and I love these copper salt and pepper shakers. This is a copper thrifted recipe box, as well as some copper cookware. This is the theme, and this is what is making me so happy this year for fall, is all of those warm, cozy tones. I'll be throwing in a lot of little leaves here and there. I've got the LED pumpkin candle from Hobby Lobby that has, since I bought it, gone viral, I think, because I haven't been able to find it, as well as some stirring spoons and some really beautiful florals in the tones of the season: plum and copper and orange and rust. And I cannot wait to bring this beautiful setup into my kitchen. I always like to begin by sharing with you guys what the kitchen is looking like before we get started bringing in the decor. Last week we did decorate a little bit here by the front entry. Everything else has been cleaned up, and I do have the curtains hanging already. So I think this is a great base to get started. Before we bring in the decor though, let's take a quick look at what I've done on the top of my fridge and a closer look at the curtains. These are just hand towels. I actually love that sort of unfussy look that those hand towels bring. They add a little bit of softness and texture in the tones of the season. And we're gonna get started over here next to the refrigerator. This has been designated my baking zone this year. So I did move my coffee pot and my espresso maker over to the coffee bar, which you guys saw last week. So I'm just going to keep things very simple because this KitchenAid gets a lot of use in the fall. I'm going to toss in a few really pretty thrifted hand towels with some wooden napkin rings, and I'm gonna bring the fourth one over to this bar here just to kind of tie in and soften up the look of the side of the refrigerator. A lot of you guys know that I love using these magnetic rods here on the side of the fridge to be able to bring in some decor and make this space just look a little bit more interesting. Now this cutting board is a remnant from my farmhouse days, but I have since roughed it up a little bit and stained it, made it a little bit more interesting looking. And so we're just gonna place it here as a way to kind of corral these copper canisters. I actually thrifted these 2 years ago at Goodwill. I absolutely love this set. I think it's great for the fall. And then I'm going to add a few of these brown leaves. I actually bought these stems at Hobby Lobby a few years back, and I just kind of pull the leaves off of the stem in order to toss them around. You'll see I'm going to do this a lot this year because I really do want to bring in that traditional fall feel. There is just something so Americana and cozy and welcoming and wonderful about the idea of like a New England fall, or those cozy crisp nights that I actually know nothing about because here in Florida we don't have that. next up we're going to move over to the side of the stove, and I love making my decor really full in this section because I don't usually use any of this section for prep, so it's a perfect place to bring in a bunch of decor. I'm going heavy on florals here, and I'll start with this wooden cutting board that I picked up from Walmart this year, along with a wooden riser and a copper colored colander to be my vase. In the kitchen, I feel like I love using items that are a little bit different to house all of my florals, and I think these are really beautiful. Now, in a moment, you'll see that I'm going to kind of hide the riser using some more of those brown leaves, but first we'll tuck in a thrifted book. I love bringing in black to the kitchen. I think it brings in a lot of interest and depth for those cooler weather months. On top of that, I'm going to add my copper recipe box and that LED pumpkin candle, and let's take a look at how it turns out. I think it's really pretty just as it is, but it definitely is missing something. And since I want to hide that wooden riser, I'm going to bring in a few more of those same brown leaves. I love the way that section turned out, so I'll now turn my attention over to the other side of the stove, and this space is partially a work zone, especially when we're cooking our evening dinners, so I want to keep it a little bit more simple here and lean things against the backsplash. I'm going to start with this beautiful cutting board. I absolutely love this. I bought the larger size. Hobby Lobby had two. And I'll bring in a few more of these smaller cutting boards to add a little bit of dimension and warmth to the backsplash. And this absolutely stunning copper pitcher that I grabbed last year at TJ Maxx. This is what I'm going to be using for holding my wooden utensils. And I don't actually use these utensils. They're not my functional ones. Everything I use is in my drawer. So this is purely for aesthetics, and I cannot wait for you guys to see how this section turns out. It has become probably my favorite area in the kitchen. Have not been able to find any of the Target dollar spot items that I thought would work for my kitchen this year. So that harvest and fig candle was from a few years back, but I think it's perfect. It ties in all of those warm, cozy tones, and it's the perfect size to pair with my copper salt and pepper shakers and a cute little pumpkin. I love the way that section turned out, but I did feel like it was looking a little bit lonely there, so I wanted to bring in a few more pieces to kind of warm up this little section beside the stove. A wooden pumpkin and one more of those amber glass candles will do the trick. And in order to try to create a little bit of balance, I'm going to move over to the right side of this setup here, and I'm going to place just a simple cake stand. This will be great for all of the baking that I'm going to do this fall. And speaking of baking, I thought this area was missing something, and so I figured a stick of butter was very appropriate for all of the pie crust I'll be making. Next up, we're going to be bringing a little bit of decor to this brass rod that I have next to my front entry. I want to keep it simple, but I also really want to highlight a lot of the copper pieces that I've thrifted recently. Some of you were with me at Goodwill when I found this beauty, and I think it is gorgeous. I want to let the copper pieces really stand out and sort of be the showstopper. So I'm not going to overload the rod. I'm just going to bring in a few simple pieces to help warm up this space and make everything really pop on the side of the cabinet. I absolutely love the way this turned out. I think this is a stunning way to greet guests at my front entry. Things are shaping up in the kitchen, but I want to turn my attention to this little section beside the hutch. I keep this little stool here, and I've added in a green lamp, and I want to bring in my grandma's piggy bank in a way that's really special. So I decided to feature her little piggy bank here on the stool, along with these florals that you see here on screen. I'm going to place those florals there on the ground to just add a little bit of texture and dimension and sort of soften up the lines. That wall there is where my stairwell begins, and so I thought this was a really pretty way to make that space look a little more interesting. We'll move over to the island, where I'm going to use a wooden cutting board as a riser, and we're going to add in a black vase. This is a crock that I just spray painted black years ago, and I'm going to be bringing in also my favorite Amazon stems. I love the color and the softness of these leaves. I think this is a beautiful way to create a simple island tablescape. Now on the side of my island, I have this really pretty brass towel bar that I picked up at Target last year, and if it's available, I'll link it in the shopping tab. I absolutely love using this to bring in some colors for the season. And I picked up a really beautiful brown and white floral print floor mat to place here in the kitchen. This was actually in the spring line, and I don't know if it's still available. I ended up getting it for like $4, and I absolutely love it. Let's take a peek at how the kitchen looked before we began. Everything was clean, but very boring and very white. And with a little bit of decor, we have really warmed it up. Thanks so much for spending your time with me today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.